Now, there's a prevailing topic or something we've seen in all of our panelists and everybody who's shared with us today. We all start with something we love, whether it's drawing, designing, making content, or just doing, creative stuff that you like. What if any passion can actually turn into something even bigger? So, from passion to purpose is all about how you turn your creative ideas into real business. One that makes money, lasts long, and actually makes a difference. In all about it, of course, it's about how you work in the long run. To discuss this topic further, let's all welcome to the stage the creative director of Nino Franco, Mr. Wilson Limon Jr.
Hello. Ay, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Good morning. I'm Wilson Limon. I'm the creative director of Nino Franco. So I'm here today not just a designer or a speaker, but someone who once submitted a thesis with no idea how far it would take me. Today, I want to share a story that started in a classroom, grew into a calling, and is now a brand and an advocacy I live by. This is actually my first speaking engagement. So finally, I got the courage to say yes. So please bear with me if I look like talking to my thesis panel. no. So let me ask you something that changed my life. Saan aabot ang thesis mo? Because for me, that one thesis turned into a full-blown business and a lifelong advocacy for culture, community, and creativity. Funny thing is, I didn't start in fashion. I actually began in architecture. I thought maybe I'd become an architect or a doctor at one point. But along the way, I realized it wasn't my path. I stopped school for a while to figure things out, and during that time, I remember my roots. So my grandmother was a dressmaker, my uncle was a designer, so fashion was in my family. It was already part of my story, but it's not something that I've been dreaming to have as a career. So I shifted from architecture to fashion design, and when it was time to do my thesis, I asked myself, what do I want to say through fashion? That is when I found my why. I didn't want to create just another collection. I want to create a bridge between modern design and our cultural identity. So I focused my thesis on contemporary fashion using traditional embellishments, specifically those from Mindanao. So I'm born and raised in Davao City, pero nakakahiyang aminin na I don't have any idea of our culture. So I just see them pag may festival, like Kadayawan Festival or Araw ng Davao. But my knowledge about it, parang surface lang, not really deep. So during that time, it wasn't mainstream. So that's how Nino Franco started, as a thesis, as a dream, as a message. So after graduation, I didn't have a full-blown brand. I didn't have capital, no business plan, no investor, but I had momentum. Even before my thesis, I was already hustling. I started with just 1,500 pesos, buying and selling ukay-ukay and accessories online. I saved every peso I could until I produced my first t-shirt design. For the first time, I wasn't just reselling, I was creating. So I remember one afternoon while I was waiting for my professor, nakaupo ako, I have this dilemma na every time I buy a shirt, when I go to the adult section, the smallest size is still big for me kasi ang liit ng frame ko. Pag pumunta naman ako sa kid size, yung large size nila, alanganin din yung fit. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, why not create like a t-shirt line? So that was my light bulb moment. So I released the first batch in small quantities, and it sold out, and I restocked, and it sold out again. So that was my light bulb moment, and naisip ko, kaya ko pala. So I formalized Nino Franco. So ika nga nila, step by step para sumakses. I joined competitions. I won some, I lost some, but I keep showing up. Walang manual, walang guide. I was figuring things out alone, product development, branding, sourcing, even basic accounting. I started small, I released a few shirts, sold them, then reinvested. I used my background in design, research, and culture, and slowly the brand took shape. The heart of Nino Franco is community collaboration. During my research, I visited communities in the foothills of Mount Apo. I met weavers who preserve generations of knowledge, often undocumented and unrecognized. I can remember my classmate told me, "Uy, mag-ingat kapag pumunta ka sa Mount Apo kasi baka may NPA." And sabi niya, yung sinasabi nila na pag tinapik ka nila, tapikin mo sila balik. So, but then when I got there, I didn't find danger. I found a woman preserving her people's identity through her loom. I realized that fashion can be more than self-expression. It can be representation. Every piece we design is rooted in real stories, real hands, real heritage. And when our artisans saw their work on fashion runways and magazines, it wasn't just about clothing anymore. It was about pride. It was about belonging. So this is Vivencia Mamites. She's a traditional weaver for Inabal. So yun po yung traditional fabric ng mga Bagobo Tagabawa. So siya yung kauna-unang artisan na nahanap ko. Nag-google lang ako, nag-search lang ako, weaver, Bagobo Tagabawa, since yun yung topic na assigned sa akin. And then I found her, and then I went to the foothills of Mount Apo. So yan yung papunta sa bahay nila. So it was very inspiring that despite of yung hirap ng buhay nila, they still have that passion to create something beautiful. I also met by Arlene Salazar. She is the traditional artisan for Pangulabe. So it is the traditional beading for the Bagobo Tagabawa. So she's also based in Davao City. So from that one thesis, Nino Franco has grown in a brand showcased in New York, Japan, and Europe. We've collaborated with embassies, cultural organizations, and communities. We've been featured in both local and international media. And today, I serve on the board of trustees of the Mindanao Trade Expo Foundation and work as an active consultant for the Department of Trade and Industry, focusing on product development for wearables and home styles. I've met influential people, even celebrities I never imagined would become our clients. But the biggest win isn't the press or the fame. It's seeing our local artisans finally recognized not just as laborers, but as culture bearers. That's our mission, to create Filipino culture, not just preserve it, but help it evolve. To empower our partner communities with opportunities to earn for a living and provide for their families. So here are some of the photos throughout my journey. So I've been joining competitions since 2012, but I never got the chance to win. But for me, losing kasi is like an opportunity for you to assess the things that you need to improve. And then come 2016, I joined Stellar Young Designers Competition in Davao City. I won the grand prize, and I used the prize money as a seed money na dagdag sa brand ko. And then 2017, of course, coming from Davao, parang naisip ko, I need to go to Manila para mas papakilala yung brand ko. I then joined Bench Design Awards, year 2017, and then which opened a lot of opportunities. We got featured in different magazines, and I think it really opened a lot of opportunities for me. And then, come 2018, we partnered with Miss Universe 2018, Catriona Gray. She's been our ambassador. She started wearing our clothes during her competition in Miss Universe. So just a quick trivia, nung June 2018, her stylist messaged me. Sabi na, "Wilson, can you create something for Catriona, this and that?" So ginawa ko din, pinadala ko nung August. Pagkatapos, come December, during the competition time, nagulat na lang ako, ang ingay ng notification ng Instagram ko. Sabi ko, ano meron? yun pala, sinuot na ni Miss Universe Catriona yung skirt na gawa namin for her. So since then, a lot of people followed our brand. Mas nakilala yung brand at yung platform namin. Okay.
Catriona Gray proves she is the queen of ethnic OOTD. In an Instagram post, Catriona dons a denim skirt during her visit to the Miss Universe headquarters in New York City. The skirt, made by Davao designer Nino Franco, is hand-embellished with mother of pearl. It is inspired by the Tagacaulo tribe in Mindanao. The Tagacaulo, according to the National Commission of Culture and the Arts, is part of the Calagan group of tribes, which belongs to the Mandaya group. Their communities are found in the coast and rivers in southern Mindanao. Gray relocated to New York to fulfill her national and global projects during her reign.
So we had that platform. We're really grateful for her support. And then some of the celebrities, some of our clients, and who've been supporting our brand. So in my studio, I have this wall. Parang pinint ko, ginawa kong parang dream ko siya, wall na nandun lahat ng mga features ko, mga newspapers. So parang tinitignan ko siya, like nakaka-humble yung experience na nung thesis ko lang siya nung 2014 and come 10, 11 years, parang hindi ko inakala it's possible to become like a business to help more communities. And last year, I got featured during the Vogue's Mindanao issue. So we have a full spread feature about artisans and the people that we work with, and of course, about how my brand started. And year 2023, we got invited during the 125th Independence Day in Vienna, Austria. That's Ambassador Luli Arroyo Bernas. So we had a fashion show in the Mack Museum in Vienna in Austria. And in the same year, we also got invited in Japan by Ambassador Milen Garcia Albano. And this one was last year. I had a fashion show in New York for Philippinex. And same last year, July, it was actually my first time to create like a formal collection because if you've seen some of our pieces, I'm leaning more into ready-to-wear, casual clothes. So this time, sabi nila, Wilson, kailangan mo gumawa ng something na formal naman or elevated. And for me, sabi ko parang hindi ko ata kaya. Parang hindi ko sure kung kaya kong gawin. But then, I think, maganda naman yung outcome ng collection namin and it was well applauded. And these are some of the photos. I've been working with DTI, so I'm actually like a consultant for product development. So I've been sent to far-flung areas na yung iba walang access to electricity and water, but then these communities are very talented. They have the skill, and I'm very much grateful to DTI like for giving these projects to help our different artisanal communities. And through the years, our pieces can now be seen in Shangri-La and Boracay. And then some of our pieces are also in Cebu, in Sheraton, and in Pearl Farm in Davao City, since my goal is really to spread out the artisanal craftsmanship. And I've been also joining pop-ups. Though here in Manila, nauso ngayon yung mga pop-ups. So nandun lahat yung mga all-Filipino brands, handmade, local. So this one is from Katutubo Pop-Up. And this one is from Artefino in Rockwell. So to the students in the room or anyone with an idea, your thesis isn't just an academic requirement. It's a blueprint. It's a pilot. It could be your future. Don't limit your thesis to a grade. Use it to explore your purpose. Test your idea. Build your voice. Start something that matters. Because you never know. You might just be creating your first product, your first brand, your first movement. And not everybody begins with the same financial opportunities. I didn't have the seed money or the instant resources to grow my brand, but I had the courage to start small. the patience to trust the process, and the faith to keep believing in myself through every challenge. That, to me, is what real success looks like. From architecture to fashion, from thesis to thriving brand, from solo student to someone leading a community-centered creative business, you don't need to be rich. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need an idea worth fighting for and the willingness to start small. I had no background in business. I just had one shirt, one story, one sale at a time. All because I dared to ask, what if this thesis could be something more? So I am here to tell you, your idea has power, your roots have value, and your story deserves space. Saan aabot ang thesis mo? Saan aabot ang business idea mo? Only you can answer that. But I hope one day you feel one step closer to finding out. Maraming salamat po.
Big round of applause for Wilson. That was truly inspirational, which means we can't leave you yet. Of course, we can't let you leave. While we have you in the center, we're going to have a quick photo op and, of course, quick question for you. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a lot of work in a span of such a short time. And can we have you here, please, so everybody can see you? First of all, again, congratulations.
Thank
I have to say it again. We see other artists who really go after their dreams, and it's nice what you said. Like, you didn't have any background in business.
I don't have any background.
A background in business. You didn't have all of this, but you just started with one, and then you just started. So I want to ask a question for the audience, of course. What were the things, or what was that one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out Nino Franco?
I think I knew that you really have to have that strong business model. It can't be just like your passion because, of course, you need to have profit. You need to find that sweet spot between profit and purpose because if you have profit, you'll be able to be sustainable. And I think that you'll be able to help more communities if your business is sustainable.
So build a sustainable business.
Yeah, sustainable business plan. Yeah.
Honestly, if they have any questions for you, how can they reach you? Because I'm sure a lot of people are inspired.
You can follow us on Instagram. It's at ninofranco.ph. Yeah, you can shoot me a message there.
Well, we'd love to work with you. Of course, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
See you around with us. And of course, big round of applause. Truly inspirational. We'll let you go to your seats. A lot of people are going to want to get in touch with you, of course. Oh, sorry, a quick photo.